Hello, my name is Ben Jones, and I will be presenting on the Shinto religion. In the rich traditions that fill the islands of Japan, gods and spirits known as kami are abundantly sprawled across the different landscapes. These kami are vast and bountiful, and are distinguished by their divine power and presence. Japan is alive with the presence of the kami. These deities dwell naturally in trees and fields, mountaintops and seashores, rivers and waterfalls. The name Shinto originated after Buddhism saw a rise in Japan and was a term used to designate a reverence and respect for the kami. Buddhism and Shinto are not necessarily mutually exclusive, and all those who worship and honor the kami fall under the practice of the Shinto religion. The Shinto religion is not as philosophically driven as many other religions, but rather focuses on the personal actions and motivations of the individual and how they align with the traditional values of Japan. Partially due to this, there is no founder or true leader of Shinto. When the Japanese people became aware of their cultural practices, they had already been following them. There is also no major scripture of which followers of Shinto read and abide by as other religions have, such as the Bible or Torah. The closest literature that Shinto has to one of these major works is a compilation of oral citations, Japanese history, and geography known as the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, which means the Chronicles of Japan. However, some studies have interpreted these works and the stories and myths that they contain to be Shinto doctrines in the same class as other works such as the Bible and Torah. The mythology of Shinto is tied closely to that of the regions in Southeast Asia and has a particularly strong Chinese influence. The core of the mythology revolves around the sun goddess Amaterasu and her role, as well as the role of her descendants in the unification of the Japanese people under their imperial rule. According to the mythology, the kami were not created, but simply existed in the beginning of time. One particular pair of kami, named Izanagi and Azanami, gave birth to the many islands of Japan. The two also birthed the other kami, who became ancestors of the various clans. Amaterasu, the ruler of the sun, the moon god Tsukiyomi, and Susanoo was the ruler of storms and the nether regions. These are some of the most important kami to the Shinto religion. Shinto refers to several contexts of worship and practices. The two most popular practices of Shinto are known as Shrine Shinto and State Shinto. Shrine Shinto refers to the traditions of worshiping at public shrines, as its name suggests, rather than the folk and sectarian practices. State Shinto emerged after 1868, when the Meiji monarchy attempted to lessen the prominence of Buddhism and restore the Shinto practices as the major religion of Japan. In recent times, there have been many new religions of Japan, and there are several which draw on Shinto traditions. These new religions have created communities of religious identity that use a well-liked and charismatic leader to join people together. The religions often place an emphasis on the tradition's healing power. They are often referred to as sect Shinto, including such movements as the Kurosmiko, the Tenriko, and the Konkoio. The latter two have risen to new prominence, and a few centers have been built and established in the United States in recent years. Today, Shinto is one of the most widely practiced religions in Japan. Nearly every aspect of Japanese culture incorporates Shinto beliefs, whether it's politics, ethics, the arts, sports, or spirituality. The Japanese people and their various religions and beliefs continue to coexist harmoniously. However, I'd like to highlight three subjects: religion and marriage, art, and sports. For religion and marriage, Shinto followers may attend funerals in a Buddhist temple, attend Christian weddings, and go to Shinto festivals. Although the percentage of Japan's population that identifies with Shinto may be declining, they still actively incorporate Shinto beliefs into their daily lives. Shinto customs are ingrained in the Japanese lifestyle, and they continue to form the identity of Japan in many respects. Japanese people today attend Shinto festivals more out of tradition rather than because they believe in the faith. For art, Shintoism is represented in many video games, anime, manga, and contemporary art today. In the Legend of Zelda games, for example, the three goddesses that created the world, as well as a sacred holy realm, is almost directly taken from the Shintoist mythologies of the origin of Japan. Aspects of the game's story, particularly the fouling of pure areas such as lakes or trees, which the hero must then purify, are actually Shintoist ethics at work. There is a game called Kami, whose story, myths, and characters are taken from Japanese mythology. The Japanese sun god Amaterasu is in the game as the sun, And even the game's name, Kami, references the Kami deities in the religion. Even some Pokemon can be linked to be Kami, as there are Pokemon that embody natural features, animals, and even the sun and moon. In anime and manga, there are many obvious links to Shintoism as well. There are abilities named Amaterasu and Susanoo in Naruto, with the abilities being named after major kami. In the anime Spirit Away, there is a river deity named Haku who represents a kami. In contemporary art, artists like Sawako Utsumi portray Shintoism in their work. Utsumi connects with the Shinto faith despite no physical depictions of Shintoism. She connects the spirituality of nature, which embodies the spirit world of Shintoism. Through the prisms of mountain backdrops, landscapes, and water, the contemporary Japanese artist fuses the Shinto faith naturally. These are a few of the countless references to Shintoism in art, which is not surprising considering the Japanese origins of these media and the tremendous influence of Shinto in Japan. The images I have listed are the artist's work on the bottom left, The Legend of Zelda in the middle, and Naruto Susanoo on the right. In the realm of sports, sumo is Japan's national sport and has its origins in Shinto, the traditional faith of Japan. In Japanese folklore, the Japanese people were created due to gods struggling in a sumo match. As a result, sumo matches were held at Shinto shrines as offerings for good luck and good harvests, among other things. If one pays attention, you will see signs of Shinto surrounding modern sumo. Above the doyo, or sumo ring, is a roof designed as a Shinto shrine's roof to symbolize the sacred nature of the sport. This is just the start of the influence that Shinto has on sumo. Sumo wrestlers are called rikishi, or powerful person. Before an actual match, sumo wrestlers execute very traditional movements, which are actually ancient rituals. For example, upon entering the ring, rikishi will clap their hands as they would at an actual Shinto shrine to get the attention of the deity at that shrine. Then, they will extend their arms with their palms facing up to show they are concealing no weapons. Next, they will lift one leg at a time towards their side and bring it down with an exaggerated stomp to drive out any bad luck or evil spirits. The rikishi will repeat this about 4 times. Rikishi will also rinse their mouth with water as a symbol of purifying themselves, just as a person would purify themselves at a well upon entering a shrine's grounds and before approaching the main hall of the shrine to offer a prayer. In accordance with Shinto, rikishi will also throw salt because it is believed it drives evil spirits away. The rikishi will go back and forth in the doyo, throwing salt and stretching while keeping an eye on the referee, or gyoji. As the gyoji turns to his side, it indicates to the rikishi the next time they step back to the starting lines, the match will begin. Shinto is an optimistic religion which is focused on the actions of people in accordance with the laws and practices determined by the kami. No one is said to be perfect and should simply focus on a life of goodwill while casting aside their wrongdoings by purification and ceremonies. The purpose of most Shinto rituals is to keep away evil spirits by purification, prayers, and offerings to the kami. People seek support from Shinto by praying at a home altar or by visiting shrines. There are a vast array of talismans and rituals are available at shrines for traffic safety, good health, success in business, safe childbirth, good exam performance, and much more. The goal of life in Shinto is to enjoy and value the astounding beauty of nature, observe and practice its rituals, and have allegiance to one's family and community. Above all, however, one must pay respects to the kami, such as those in the area in which one was born, or the kami worshipped by the family's ancestors. This is the life of Shinto, the way of the kami. Thank you for listening.